It was supposed to be impossible. A Nazi submarine off the coast of New Jersey. No record, no warning, just silence. But in 1991, a group of weekend divers descended into the icy Atlantic, and what they found sealed inside would rewrite World War II history and leave investigators speechless for years. Look, I get it. Another World War II story, right? But this one's different. This is about a mystery that sat on the ocean floor for almost 50 years. And when they finally cracked it open, the truth was so wild that even the historians couldn't believe it. So yeah, hit that subscribe button, because what we're rediving into today will completely change how you think about the war's final days. The discovery. Alright, let's set the scene. It's Labor Day weekend, 1991. A group of experienced wreck divers are about 60 miles off the coast of New Jersey, looking for a fish aggregation site. You know, just normal weekend stuff for these guys. They're scanning the ocean floor with their fish finder when something massive shows up on the screen. Now here's the thing. These weren't amateur divers. Bill Nagel and John Chatterton had been exploring shipwrecks for years. They knew the Atlantic seaboard like the back of their hands. So when they saw this signature on the sonar, about 230 feet down, they knew it was something big. Something that wasn't supposed to be there. The first dive down, visibility was terrible, maybe 10 feet if you were lucky. But as Chatterton descended through the murky water, the outline of what he was seeing started to become clear. A submarine, a really big submarine, and from the distinctive shape, the tower design, the deck gun mounting, he knew exactly what he was looking at. This was a German U-boat, a Nazi submarine, sitting on the bottom of the Atlantic, just a few hours' drive from New York City. The impossible presence. Okay, so here's where it gets weird. According to every official record, every military document, every piece of Allied intelligence from World War II, there were no German U-boats operating in American waters by 1945. The U-boat threat had been essentially eliminated. That point in the war, but there it was, sitting on the ocean floor like some kind of metal ghost from the past. The divers started calling it the New Jersey U-boat, because, honestly, what else do you call something that's not supposed to exist? But as they began exploring the wreck over the following weeks, they realized this wasn't just any submarine. This thing was huge, way bigger than the typical U-boats they'd heard about. And here's what really got their attention. The submarine was almost completely intact. No massive torpedo damage, no obvious signs of depth charge explosions. Whatever had sent this thing to the bottom, it wasn't your typical wartime destruction. Inside the iron coffin now, diving on a World War II submarine is no joke. These things are basically underwater tombs, and everyone knew it. But Chatterton and his team were determined to figure out what they'd found. The first time they managed to get inside the submarine, the scene was, honestly, pretty haunting. Personal belongings were scattered throughout the compartments. Shoes, clothing, letters from home, and yeah, human remains. After almost 50 years underwater, you can imagine what that looked like. But it was the details that really got to them. In the torpedo room, they found brass plates with German writing. In what used to be the crew quarters, there were personal items that told stories. A comb, a toothbrush, a photograph of someone's girlfriend or wife, too water damaged to make out clearly. These weren't just artifacts from a war. These were remnants of real people's lives. Young men who'd been following orders, probably scared out of their minds, thousands of miles from home. The identification problem, alright. So they've got a Nazi submarine off New Jersey. The obvious next question is, which one? But here's the thing that made this mystery so incredible. There were no identification numbers visible on the hull. No clear markings that would tell them exactly which U-boat this was. The divers spent months, literally months, searching through the wreck for any kind of identification. They brought up pieces of equipment, personal items, anything that might have a serial number or manufacturing mark. But the ocean had done its work. Salt water and time had corroded or destroyed most of the identifying features. What they did know was that this was a Type 9 U-boat, one of the larger, long-range submarines that Germany used for extended patrols. These boats were designed to stay at sea for months at a time, hunting Allied shipping far from German bases. But which specific boat was it? That question would take years to answer. The research begins now. Here's where the story gets really interesting. Because solving this mystery wasn't just about diving. It became this massive research project involving historians, maritime archaeologists, and World War II experts from around the world. Chatterton became obsessed, and I mean obsessed, with identifying this submarine. He started learning German. He tracked down U-boat veterans who were still alive. He spent countless hours in archives, going through German naval records that had been captured after the war. And slowly, piece by piece, a picture started to emerge. The submarine's location, its size, the type of equipment they were finding inside. All of it pointed to a very specific possibility. But it was a possibility that made no sense, according to the official records. The evidence was suggesting that this was U-869, a submarine that, according to German records, had been sunk off the coast of Gibraltar in 1945, not off New Jersey. Gibraltar, the Mediterranean Sea, thousands of miles away. The human costs. What really gets to me about this story? It's easy to think about World War II submarines as these machines of war, these tools of destruction. But when you're reading the personal accounts from the divers, when you hear about the human remains they found, it becomes real in a way that history books can't capture. The crew of U-869 were mostly young men, many of them barely out of their teens. They'd been trained to operate one of the most sophisticated weapons of their time. But at the end of the day, they were just kids who wanted to go home to their families. The divers found evidence of the crew's daily lives, playing cards scattered in what used to be the mess hall, personal letters, too damaged by seawater to read completely. A harmonica. Can you imagine? Someone brought a harmonica on a submarine, probably thinking about the music from home during those long, terrifying patrols. The breakthrough, okay? So after years of research, Chatterton finally caught a break. Deep in the German Federal Archives, he found something that changed everything. A decoded radio message from U-869, sent just days before the submarine disappeared. The message was simple but crucial. U-869 was reporting their position and requesting new orders. And the position they gave, it wasn't anywhere near Gibraltar. It was off the American East Coast, specifically in the exact area where the New Jersey wreck had been found. But here's the kicker. This message had been intercepted and decoded by Allied intelligence during the war. The Allies knew that U-869 was operating off the American coast. They just never connected it to the submarine that German records said had been sunk near Gibraltar. What had happened was this. German Naval Command thought they'd lost U-869 in the Mediterranean, probably due to a communication error or false intelligence. Meanwhile, the actual U-869 was thousands of miles away, hunting American shipping and running straight into a trap they never saw coming. The final patrol. So what actually happened to U-800? Well, this is where the story gets both tragic and fascinating, based on the evidence the divers found. Combined with newly discovered military records, they were able to piece together the submarine's final days. U-869 had been sent on what the Germans called a special mission. They were supposed to attack Allied shipping along the American East Coast, part of Germany's last desperate attempt to disrupt American supply lines. But by early 1945, the war was basically over. Germany was collapsing, and these submarine crews were being sent on what were essentially suicide missions. The submarine had been at sea for months. The crew was exhausted, probably low on supplies, operating in enemy waters where Allied they were being hunted by destroyers, aircraft, and coastal patrols that had years of experience finding and destroying U. And then, on what was probably supposed to be their final attack run, something went wrong. The final moments. Here's what the evidence suggests happened. U-869 was attempting to attack an Allied convoy when they were detected by American naval forces. The submarine tried to escape, diving deep and running silent, but the Americans had gotten too good at this game by 1945. The attack that sank U-869 was probably quick and devastating. Not a prolonged depth charge attack, but something that caused catastrophic flooding almost immediately. The submarine went down fast, probably too fast for most of the crew to react. When the divers explored the wreck, they found evidence that some of the crew had tried to escape. Emergency equipment had been moved, hatches had been opened, but at 230 feet underwater, with the submarine flooding rapidly, there was nowhere to go. The entire crew of U-869, 49 men, went down with their boat. They were buried at sea without anyone knowing where they were, without their families ever learning what had happened to them. The cover-up that wasn't. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so why wasn't this submarine's location known? Was there some kind of... The answer is both simpler and more complicated than that. There was no deliberate What happened was a series of bureaucratic mistakes and communication failures that, honestly, were pretty typical for the chaos of the war's final months. German Naval Command lost track of U-869 and assumed it had been sunk elsewhere. Allied forces probably knew they'd sunk a submarine, but in the heat of battle, exact locations and confirmations weren't always recorded perfectly. After the war, both sides had bigger problems to deal with than tracking down every single submarine that had been lost. The families of the U-869 crew were told their loved ones were missing in action, which was true enough. They just never learned where. The archaeological treasure. What makes the U-869 discovery so significant isn't just the historical mystery. It's the fact that this submarine is essentially a time capsule from World War II. Because it sank quickly, it wasn't heavily damaged by explosions. Artifacts inside were preserved in ways that archaeologists rarely get to see. The divers found navigational equipment, personal belongings, even food supplies, that gave researchers insights into daily life aboard a German U-boat. It's one of the most complete submarine wrecks from World War II ever discovered. But here's the thing that really got to me when I was researching this story. Among the artifacts they recovered were personal letters and photographs. These weren't just pieces of history. They were connections to real families, real people who had spent decades not knowing what had happened to their sons, brothers, fathers. The human legacy. Through years of research, Chatterton and other historians were able to identify many of the crew members of U-869. They found family members who were still alive, people who had spent their entire lives wondering what had happened to their relatives. Imagine getting a phone call 60 years after the war ended, and someone tells you they've found your brother's submarine. They know where he died. They can tell you about his final days. For some families, it was closure they never thought they'd get. The story of U-869 became about more than just solving a maritime mystery. It became about honoring the memory of these young men who died far from home in a war that was already lost. The lasting questions. Even today, there are still questions about U-869 that may never be answered. What exactly was their mission? Were they carrying anything besides torpedoes? Why were they so far from their supposed patrol area? Some historians think U-869 might have been involved in Germany's rumored plans to attack American cities directly. Others believe they were simply trying to disrupt shipping lanes as part of the standard U-boat campaign. The truth is probably somewhere in between, but we may never know for sure. What we do know is that the discovery of U-869 changed how historians think about the final months of World War II. It showed that even at the very end, when Germany was clearly defeated, young men were still being sent out to die in a war that everyone knew was over. The deeper truth. So what did those weekend divers really find when they descended to that wreck site in 19... Yeah, they found a Nazi submarine. They found artifacts and historical evidence. They solved a mystery that had lasted almost 50 years. But I think what they really found was a reminder that history isn't just about nations and politics and grand strategies. It's about individual human beings making choices, following orders, trying to survive in circumstances they never could have imagined. The 49 men who died aboard U-869 were products of their time and place. They were serving a regime that history rightfully remembers as evil. But they were also young men who probably just wanted to get through the war and go home to their families. And for reasons that came down to bureaucratic mistakes and the chaos of war, their story was lost for half a century. The divers who found U-869 didn't just discover a submarine. They gave those men a proper burial at sea and gave their families answers they've been waiting decades to hear. That's the real treasure they brought up from the depths. If this story got to you the way it got to me, let me know in the comments. What do you think about these kinds of historical mysteries hidden beneath the waves? And if you want to see more deep dive investigations into the untold stories of World War II, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching. Sometimes the most important discoveries aren't treasure or gold. They're just the truth about what happened to real people in extraordinary circumstances. Until next time, keep questioning the stories you think you know, because there's always more beneath the surface.